Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another magnificent MapleStory video, or whatever, dude. I don't know. Monday Maple Musings. We're taking a look at the MapleStory subreddit over the last week. We see what's been popping. The microwave, as it were. Oh, man. I guess it's the patch. I guess the patch has been out more aptly for a little bit now, and then they've also made, like, the big major changes from the patch with the whole, like, changing the trace missions and shit. I don't know what people are going to be talking about. I remember seeing some threads about people being unhappy about certain things, but we'll see. I think mostly people are genuinely happy with the patch, and for good reason. I mean, it's been a pretty decent patch, given the circumstances. Apparently I read this thread 3 days ago, I don't remember. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's too much complaining going on here, which is a good sign. Oh yeah, and then they did the boss fam thing. Putting RNG in a pity system, what the hecky? We'll start with these. See how we go. What did you guys hyperburn and why is it Ren? I mean, honestly... Wait, I tried painting Plumtree Bunny, hope you guys like. This is a fucking painting that this dude made? Are you kidding me? That's sick as fuck. The only correct answer is to choose Ren, and you chose Ren because it's new and shiny and it looks fucking sick. Yeah, this is insane work. No shit, it's insane work. It's crazy. This art is so good. That's crazy. Oh yeah, I remember this post. Hourglass bros, I'm gonna need all of you to lock in. We reached 100% on the co-op event 12 hours before last reset, and quite frankly, this ain't gonna do. I expected better from our player base to cap diligently so we could reap the benefits of Monster Park Clear XP, but here I am running MPE before completion like a fool and losing my 10% XP because I lost faith in you guys. I am now eternally gapped by the players that held their Monster Parks for the day, and it's also the reason why I'm not 275 in Challenger World yet. These, like, co-op events, I always look at them like they're not real. Like, everything's fake. Because the last time they did this, they've shown that they just kind of choose the sliders and fuck around with it as they want. And it doesn't really matter. I know it's probably accurate on, like, the more alive servers, like Reboot or Chronos or whatever. But for, like, EU... in, like, the lower population, like, servers in general, like, these co-op events, obviously they get numbers added to them, or else they would just never be finished. And I think in the case of the Hourglass event, it just auto-finishes on the next week, on reset if it's not done. I don't know, though, for sure. Don't quote me on that. But, yeah. It's a funny copy pasta either way. Bro, I capped on day 0. That's what I'm saying. Congrats to Bane on the first Destiny Liberation in GMS. I mean, Destiny Lib is insane, bro. Just to even have the fucking traces to do it, let alone clear the goddamn bosses. That's crazy. Like, actually crazy. Sorry, I was just reading the bullet points. I forgot that I'm making a video. Didn't it just come out? How did it get so quick? Run when patch drops, solo all the bosses before reset. Second run comes on last week. Today on reset, you run for the 3rd time. Then there's also the reset tickets. All of that, you Destiny lived in record time. Even if she's whale, you still need hands to solo. Bane was the only player in GMS who managed to solo hard calling before the nerfs. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, you might need to be a whale. But, like, still no denying that you need to also possess the ability to, you know, press the buttons in certain ways. Interactive is definitely a different game, in a sense, but, it's still the same, like, gameplay, if that makes sense. So, congrats to Bane. Well deserved, for sure. Especially doing it this early, that's crazy. A rare Nexon GMS appreciation post. As the title states, I'd like to give massive props to the Nexon GMS team for a couple of things this patch. First off, I understand that the game is not perfect and there's still a lot of issues, but come on, guys. First time in a while, we haven't really been plagued by constant maintenances and rollbacks. Great job from the team and not taking the game down constantly and actually fixing most issues within a week without extendos. The familiar rework is great, not perfect, but certainly better than before. The pity and trace restoration, while nowhere close to perfect, is a great step in the right direction. And gamers finally have new heights to aspire to with the addition of items that can go up to 30 stars. I know it's not feasible for the vast majority, but it's great there's a new ceiling. All in all, it's been a massive improvement from the last 2 disastrous patches that were plagued with constant maintenances, rollbacks, etc. WGMS team, keep it coming. Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned this too in the last video, I think. Aside from like the Mo Schwan fuck up and how they basically were just like, oopsie, you're good, you guys just can't play for a week or so, which was kind of fucked up, but also kind of funny. Not funny for the people who got transformed into Mo Schwans, but funny in the sense that it's like, that's just funny how that even existed in the game, man. How does going to a map turn you into a different class, bro? What the fuck? That's demonic work. And overall, though, this patch is insane. And I mentioned it in probably last week's video too, that I think the pitch pity system is pretty good. I mean, I have very little complaints about it, truthfully. And the trace restoration missions, I think the boss missions, they need to be doable in practice mode. They make that change, they're perfect. Until then, they're like, they annoy me. Because it's like, you're so close, just fucking cross the finish line. Please, God, make it doable in practice mode. Why? Why can you not do it in practice mode? Why must I sacrifice certain bosses on certain difficulties, or give up trading, or give up just playing with my friends? It's stupid. But the grinding trace restoration, I think, is more than fair. That's way better than I could have ever assumed. I thought it would be way worse. I think it's really cool. I like the fact that they made it a daily cap on boxes, and they made it so the daily cap isn't incredibly hard to hit either, so it's a good balance. And then with that daily cap, they still made it so the progression towards the restoration is pretty reasonable in the speed at which you can do it. It's like every 3 months or something. Like, that's not bad. Considering we were getting 0 previously. 0 restorations every fucking 2 million years. And then there's obviously a bunch of other small QOL things, but yeah. QOL changes were great. I'm enjoying not having to wait for cooldowns after every boss. Yep, that's fucking sick, dude. It's a KMS change though? Yeah, but still, it's QOL, right? I mean, obviously we're not only talking about the GMS exclusive changes, right? Because if we were, then the 30-star thing wouldn't be a thing. But the GMS exclusive things are really good, though, truthfully. I expect it to always be ass. And I have low expectations. If the fans are supposed to be how they are right now, it is actually a huge W. Not sure on the actual chances to roll boss damage right now, but it seems like all unique lines, not unique familiars, but the line itself being a unique line, are 40% boss damage. This is true, and I think this is what they're supposed to be. Epic still has a range of like 20 to 30, but if it's a unique boss line, it will be 40%, period. For example, my 35% unique familiars, because the 35 was a unique line, are now 40%. And I think this is really... I think it's a really good change. It makes it so going for quote-unquote finished familiars is like feasible and it feels doable. Whereas instead of it before, you would be rolling for unique line and then you'd have to hit the 40, not the 35, and that just feels like complete ass, truthfully. And that's why I never wanted to do it on my Nightwalker. But now that it's like this, maybe I'll try to get my last 40 boss, since I already have 2 40 bosses, and I just have the 30 epic. It's on the unique familiar, but it's an epic line, unfortunately. Anyways, though, I think the patch is fucking fire, dude. State of whaling on interactive servers. I remember reading this, and I did want to bring, obviously, some attention to it, but there's a lot to go over in here, so I'm obviously not going to be going over all of it, but there are a lot of different things here that have very real, I think, discussion that can be had around them. Specifically, I think Unicube sales definitely need to be communicated better, whether it be going forward or otherwise, right? I think cube sales in general, especially on interactive, specifically for interactive, when it's like these unique cubes, like the Unicubes specifically, because they're obviously very rare, very sought after, people plan out spending for them. They need to be made more aware than just like randomly dropping it. I completely agree. And then obviously there's a bunch of other things: force gambling, Star Force changes via +1 scrolls, power creep cube service devaluation, scuffed endgame clear rewards, boss familiar changes. Some of these things I agree with more than others, and some of these things I think are just kind of crying, like certain things, you know? But I think overall, there's some good discussion to be had here, and I think it's worth bringing attention to it. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can really say. And then this post, just short and sweet. All boss fams went up by 5%. Uniques and even legendaries W Inkwell. Yerp. Went from 000 to 000. Thank you, Nexon. Well, good news. It should be theoretically easier for you to hit a boss familiar now. How much easier? Dunno. I'm gonna wait for some math lord to do the math on that shit. Buddy had a 30 fam that turned into a 35 with the patch that messed up 40s. Now it's a 40 after the fix. There you go. I don't know if Unique can roll 30 to 40, though. Doesn't seem like it's possible. I guess it could be possible if the epic line got turned to Unique, but I don't know how that would happen. I don't know. 30 to 35 on first update, now 35 to 40 now. I mean, it must be happening if multiple people are saying it happened. Must have been possible. Unique must have been a 30 to 40 range, which actually sucks, because that means my Unique fam really is 30 epic. That sucks. Anyways, putting RNG in a pity system is crazy. I don't understand why this can't be just kill X mobs daily quests for a fixed amount of shining regular star specs. I've been capping boxes since the patch, and I've only got 5 shining star specs, meanwhile some people are at 15. Putting RNG in a system that's supposed to help alleviate RNG is just crazy. I guess I can understand this. I was gonna say, initially, at first, I thought they were talking about the drop rate of the boxes themselves. But I can definitely understand the specs versus shining star specs. I don't know how you'd fix it. I mean, obviously you could just make it a guaranteed amount every X amount of boxes, but I don't know how you would fix it in the system that they've made. You'd have to make it as like a daily quest or a weekly quest or something. And I mean, I'm just like saving my boxes because I got tired of opening them and having to start a new stack, and it's easier for me to track how many I have. So I don't actually know how many shining star specs I would have. I think I have my Maple open. I think I opened the boxes the first few days, and I have 4 shining star specs and 34 star specs, and I have 90 boxes in my inventory. So I opened like a couple days worth. I don't know. I don't know how bad the variance is over like a long period of time. I imagine it won't be that bad, but I don't know. "95% sure the system was designed more for interactive, while the guaranteed weekly boss drops was more for reboot." I definitely don't think that some of these systems are as good as they are on the opposite version of the game, right? Like this guy is saying, I think the star boxes, because the star boxes are tradable on interactive, so it makes them way easier to interact with, no pun intended, and the reboot like pitch draw pity system isn't really useful in reg server. Like, it is, but it isn't as impactful, right? It's just like, oh, hey, you get a little bit of money every like 6 months or whatever, right? But in reboot, it's more like a, hey, you get this fucking item ever type thing. So I definitely subscribe to this line of thought. Anyways, I do think there's probably a way to make the RNG better, but I guess my hope is that over a long enough period of time, the variance won't be as like bad enough for it to really matter. But I don't know. We'll see. I haven't opened my boxes, so I don't really have any anecdotal evidence aside from what I have. Anyways, I think that'll do it for this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. As always, if you liked the video, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you to my YouTube members. It's Biscuits and your Diz. Reams to my life. I'm New Food. Love all you guys very, very much. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.